There'll be a lot for the leaders to discuss, and with more now on what we can expect is Gatestone Institute senior fellow Gordon Chang. He's also the author of The Coming Collapse of China, and China is Going to War. Gordon, thanks so much for being here. This meeting is high stakes. You say everything's on the line.
Well, it certainly is, because we've been seeing some very aggressive Chinese actions. We focus on Taiwan, but in the last week, there have been belligerent moves by China in the South China Sea, at Second Thomas Shoal and Scarborough Shoal. And so any place can be a hot point. It can be Taiwan, Japan, the Philippines, or it could be an attack on an American plane in the global commons. We've seen the Chinese engage in these dangerous intercepts. And if there's going to be a war, Elizabeth, it is unlikely to stay conventional if it looks like China's going to lose. They've threatened to use nuclear weapons preemptively, and I think they're actually quite serious about that.
Really?
Well, we have to take them at their word. We believe that it is Chinese doctrine now to go from a deterrent, in other words, a small nuclear force, to a war-fighting capability. They plan to increase the number of nuclear weapons by about 400% over the next decade. And they are apparently making big progress in terms of that. So, yes, we have to assume that their doctrine has changed and their doctrine is much more aggressive.
You actually say that President Biden has made some, in your opinion, diplomatic mistakes in his sort of negotiations with China, because this is all a delicate dance, as we all know. We watched this with the United States and the Soviet Union for years and years, and we're now seeing it to a certain extent with Russia, but definitely with China. You say it was a mistake for Biden to send a delegation recently to Beijing without a reciprocal visit to Washington. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, we sent 4 cabinet-level officials to Beijing in a row without requiring a return visit. And although we look at this as responsible in terms of trying to establish channels of communication, the Chinese look at this from imperial terms, that this is what vassals did during the 2 millennia of imperial rule. And so I think that Biden has given Xi Jinping the view that Biden thinks that he's subordinate to Xi Jinping. Now, we believe, of course, that's ridiculous. That is a misassessment of things. But we have to look at it from the way the Chinese view it, not the way that we view it. And we can see that China's actions have become much more aggressive and belligerent recently. So obviously we're doing something wrong.
You know, I know that the CIA, our intelligence agency, spend a lot of time and resources studying the psychologies of these, world leaders, who are sometimes at odds with our country, whether it's Xi or Putin or Kim Jong-un. What do we need to understand about Xi's way of thinking to help understand where he's leading this country? Because his talk has been much more belligerent. As you just pointed out, he's spending a lot more money on the military. And this is, as we're all so intertwined economically, it's very difficult to disentangle our connections. What do we need to understand about Xi as a person?
Well, first of all, he believes in a lot of Maoist principles. Now, he's not been able to implement Maoist policies, but as he's gotten more and more power in the Chinese political system, we are seeing policies of centralization of control, also the imposition of totalitarian social controls. These were very reminiscent of the 1950s, especially this return to ideology. Also, Xi Jinping believes that he's the world's only legitimate ruler. He's going back to this imperial notion of Tianxia, where Chinese emperors not only had the right to rule the entire world, but they were compelled by heaven to do so. And to make this even worse, he is seeing a lot of internal problems in China for which he has no solutions other than to rally the Chinese people for war. So I don't know how this can get more dangerous, except, of course, what we've seen in the last month, which are all these purges in the branch of the Chinese military that controls almost all of the country's nuclear weapons.
Right.
This could be Xi Jinping installing officers who will push the button if
when
given
he gives
the order.
The order. You really think he thinks he's ordained by God somehow to rule the earth?
We have to assume that because of the writings of his subordinates that talk about what they call Xi Jinping thought. Also, we can see these echoes of this imperial Tianxia notion in his messages to the world, for instance, his New Year's messages and his messages to the Chinese people. And the Communist Party spends a lot of money on this Tianxia ideology. So we have to assume that they're serious, because otherwise, why would they be doing this?
It's really disturbing. Gordon Chang, thank you so much for being here. Great to have your analysis. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.